All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Hair Wire, the place where you get hair smart. I'm your host, Sergio Cardona, coming to you live from Puerto Rico, Canada, and Florida. And of course, we want to thank you guys for tuning in week after week and making the Hair Wire your source, the place where you get the quality information to get the best hair ever, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Alongside, we have Kerry Jarrett and Bisan Dempsey. How you guys are doing today?
We're doing great. Thank you so much, and we are excited for our episode today.
we're actually we're very excited. We're trying a new platform called StreamYard, and it's quite fascinating. Changing platforms here after being used to use Zoom for so long. But hey, this is an amazing time. Carrie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm loving playing with new tech. You know me, I'm a techie. So we're gonna have to thank Brad for introducing us this because this is much easier.
Oh yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. Guys, today we're going to be talking about how hair loss at about how hair loss as we know it, professionally is changing and the gap between cosmetology, dermatology and medicine and how they are finally working together. Such an amazing subject, guys. But please let me remind you of our summit, our Hair Wire Summit. It's still ongoing, guys. It's gonna keep going until March 24th. Of course, you do not want to wait until March to buy your tickets. You need to buy them now. Now, buy your tickets now. Get your tickets to the Hair Wire Summit. It's available for patrons and, of course, for professionals. Of course, if you buy the professional tickets, you get more. You get more education and, of course, more perks. So definitely, you want to buy the professional ticket. Most definitely. Also, we want to invite you to our social network, the Trico Network here at the Hairwire. So visit our website, thehairwire.com, thehairwire.com, and of course for the summit, thehairwire.com/summit. Get your tickets and of course get your profile. Hey, this profile for professionals here at the Hairwire, it's available for free right now. After a year, if you haven't made your profile, you will need to pay for it. So right now it's free and it will stay free if you log in right now and you complete your profile. Fill in your profile and start connecting with people in the industry here at the Hairwire. This is your place. This is your home. This is what we got for you guys. How amazing, how cool is that?
Yeah. So let's talk about the hair wire because those who don't know the hair wire and what the whole point of the hair wire is, well,
Yeah.
we are three designated certified trichologists with various backgrounds, and we found that there's a huge disconnect in the hair loss industry, specifically connecting cosmetology and dermatology and general practice. We found that there's a huge gap. Nobody was working together. There's no way for us to communicate. And so we decided to create the hair wire for the general public with a background in the back for professionals to have a better platform to communicate. And it's been awesome so far. There's a lot of people working together. We're bringing specialists in their niche who are narrowed down in their niche in trichology or cosmetology for techniques for camouflaging hair loss, techniques for encouraging hair growth, techniques for optimal health and wellness. It's phenomenal. So this is for patron and for professional, you guys. And with the trichology industry, it is our mission to change the trichology or to change the hair industry as we know it. As right now, a lot of it's quite vanity and we have a lot of hair loss. And right now, there is a spike in hair loss ever since COVID. And it's not just because of COVID, it's our lifestyle. It's the pandemic on food. It is us using these things all the time and letting them consume us and increase our stress levels. We're finding hair loss and especially preventative types of hair loss happening in kids younger and younger. We actually have a speaker coming in to talk about that very topic. That lecture will be hopefully posted in the next few weeks where she's actually talking how prevalent hair loss is starting younger and younger. And we need to bring awareness to this, whether you're in the chair or you're a cosmetologist behind the chair or you're a medical professional trying to figure out what's going on. And instead of giving you guys all one diagnosis. And now one thing which as a trichologist, cosmetologist, I see often, so often, a lot of medical practitioners will be like, oh, it's alopecia. Well, guess what? There's more than one type of alopecia, and it's not a one size fits all world. And we're not going to be giving kids menodoxal. I'm sorry. You can't. There is solutions, and as trichologists, it is our job to get to the root of the problem, figure out why it's happening, stop the hair loss, and then encourage new hair growth. And a lot of times too, you see people talking about hair loss and they'll be like, okay, put a band-aid on and cover it up and not fix it and just let it progress before it gets worse. So today we are going to talk about how the industry as we know it is changing. And so we just want to bring light to it and really educate you guys on why you want to be part of the hair wire, whether you're a professional or whether you are a patron.
Yeah, I want to add here, like what you said, Carrie, is amazing. And I see the hair wire is my dream coming true because I have been a trichologist for quite a while, and I am not a cosmetologist, so I have a different angle from you guys. So for me, when I was just teaching trichology, I had this all the students that are disconnected from each other. Like we all now, it's a global community, everybody in their own places, trying to get all the education about trichology. But that is great. That is 50%. Knowledge is 50% of your value. The other 50% is your connection to the world, how you present yourself to the world. And also, and you all know by now, hair loss is a very, very complex issue. You alone cannot solve hair loss cases, like especially the children ones, or the bigger cases, the more chronic cases. We need a collective of trichologists, because we as trichologists, every one of us has a different, as Carrie said, background, and have a different specialty. You need, as if you want to solve a complex case, you need a trichologist who have a background in nutrition. You need a trichologist who has a background of stress management. You need a trichologist who has a background in genetics, and so on. It's a huge, massive world. And here, that's why the idea of the hair wire came on. And this is a dream come true for me, because this is, as a trichologist without a cosmetology license, this is what I really needed, to connect with you trichologists. I still ask questions. I learned the science of hair. I am a scientist. I have a scientist background. But guess what? I asked Carrie, how should I wash my hair? What shampoo I should use? Because she has this niche. I will ask Sergio different questions. You got what I'm trying to say. And also for me, as a functional medicine practitioner, it's a dream to bridge the functional medicine health coaching into trichology, because I believe this is the future. Like, how functional medicine is taking off right now, because people understood that Western medicine, which is one pill fits all, is not working. Well, in the United States, the healthcare is the most advanced healthcare in the whole world. Guess what? 80% of the population of the United States have chronic diseases. So clearly something is not working. And here, this is how functional medicine emerged, and this is how the hair wire is emerging, bringing all this together for you guys under one roof, with a social network too. So you can ask your questions and post your ideas and post your cases. So we as a collective community can help you.
Hey, I want to add to that too, Basant, because you are a biologist. You understand functional medicine and wellness and nutrition. Now, we always say hair is an essential biomarker for your body. And a lot of times when you're sick, you're ill, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, the first thing to go is your hair and your nails. And so a lot of times when we have hair thinning and hair loss, we're like, oh, let's cosmetically cover it up or put a band-aid on it. But we don't look at the underlying issues of what our body is putting this red flag. And it's kind of like saying, hey, you're not listening to me. Your body's suffering. Your body's suffering. I'm going to make your hair fall out because you're not listening to me. And it's a pandemic, not just with the food, but it's a pandemic. And we're talking about mental health now too. But mental health causes hair loss as
Oh, yeah.
well. And
100%.
when you're stressed, hair falls out. And to quite honest, I specialize in hair loss due to epigenetics, and that's stress on the body. And I would have to say, pretty much 95% of the time, it's stress that's inducing that hair loss, whether it is inducing the illness, causing more hair loss, or the hair loss of the miscommunication. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, do you guys agree with that statement?
Yeah, completely,
100%.
completely. I mean, there's a bunch of things that people are doing right now that they don't think that it's hair related, and that's a problem because we believe that what we are doing in life, if I'm not seeing a direct result or an immediate result, then it shouldn't be that thing. And we forget that sometimes anything that we do today might have effects on it tomorrow or maybe a month from now or even up to 4 months from now. And that's the thing. For instance, whenever we're talking about hair loss, particularly if you have a stress event, let's say we have a stress event a day, a huge stress event, one of two things can happen. Either I start experiencing hair shedding immediately in the form of alopecia areata, or I might experience that maybe in that same way as a form of anagen effluvium uh, in about 4 weeks from now. But what about telogen effluvium? It can present itself up to 6 months, basically, from that date. So, events today can have an effect months ahead of us. And we need to trace back, and that's one of the things that we as trichologists do. We trace back the information. We look for signs, clues of things that are happening or have happened a few months back, up to a year sometimes, and even more. Particularly for people who are experiencing chronic telogen effluvium, they have been experiencing one set of telogen effluvium events after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other, and it compounds to a process where they start feeling and they're seeing a lot of hair shedding and of course hair loss, which is amazingly incredibly, and it's ridiculous. The amount of hair that people lose on chronic telogen effluvium is amazing and overwhelming, and it's sad, and it burdens someone to feel that way and to see themselves that way. So getting to the root of problems, getting to the root cause of things is important. So understanding the backgrounds, understanding the things that are happening around us, help us understand how we are losing our hair.
Yep. Very well said, Sergio. Very well said.
Yeah. So it is our mission as certified trichologists to bring together and bring special guests specifically in their niche, whether it be inflammation, stress management, well-being, you name it. We are here to bring those people together who are changing the industry, and also to educate other trichologists, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know who you don't know. And sometimes it takes somebody like us to introduce you to that person, and vice versa. So you guys get involved in the hair weather, hair wire, or hair weather, hair wire.
It's a weather too.
You're in the atmosphere of hair weather.
I like this name, hair weather.
And weather does play a fact on hair too. Yeah,
True.
guys, get involved in this. Whether you're a patron or maybe you have a case and you're trying to figure out why you're struggling with the hair loss, submit it on the front end in the Ask the Expert, where we could talk to you, whether you want to do it privately or if you want to talk to us and we, make you an invisible name to cover up what we're going over, and you have trichologists actually investigating what is going on. This is what we are here for. And then if you are a professional or an extreme hair enthusiast, sign up in the hair network and meet other professionals and level up your game in the hair industry. Like I said, we're here to change the hair industry as we know it.
That's true. So, Biz, I wanted to ask you, you've been teaching trichology for a while, and uh, who you do think are the people who feel most connected to trichology? Who are the people who want to study trichology? And why do you feel that many students wanted to add trichology into their services menu?
Okay, so that's a great question, actually. Mainly, it started with cosmetologists who they're seeing hair loss patients or clients in their on their chair. So, as a cosmetologist, you learn everything you learn about how to camouflage the hair, how to treat the hair, how to deal with the hair. But like 50% of the population is having hair loss, so you will get 50% of your clients is suffering from different kind of hair loss, and this is where cosmetologists they started to see that, but they don't have answers to it. They know the term alopecia. It's like a very, very general term, but this term varies from a client to a client. One client you will have a thinning from the widening of the part. One client you will have a parting of thinning in the crown. One client you will see patches, circles of empty. There's empty follicles. There is no hair. So cosmetologists are the first line or defense line when they see that in front of their eyes, and they are curious enough to understand so why these types of alopecia are different, and what I am as a cosmetologist I can do to help my client. Cosmetologists are not doctors, so we cannot prescribe medication, or even most of the clients went to dermatologist and came back, and the dermatologist said you have inflammation. So what is inflammation? Doesn't make any sense. So the first people who came into trichology schools are the cosmetologists because they see it firsthand. But what is it I am very excited about? It's the cosmetologist, I believe, to just end this paragraph, I believe all cosmetologists has to be trichologists. To level up your business, you need to camouflage the hair, know about everything about outside, and you need to know everything about inside too, and how you can help your client uh, not only camouflage, stop the root cause of it. So this is one thing. What I am excited about a lot is the medical doctors, the dermatologists, the hair transplant surgeons who are coming forward. Like, I need to understand trichology, because dermatologists they learn skin diseases. By the way, scalp has a different kind of diseases, so it's a bit different. I know the general idea is the same, but there is so many specifics to the scalp that in dermatology school, dermatologists do not tackle on. Hair transplant surgeons, they learn hair surgery. They don't learn how to keep your hair. And because of the trichology, because of the hair wire, and a lot of you guys are trying to spread the word of trichology, hair transplant surgeons and dermatologists came to a realization that they need a trichologist on premises, because for a hair transplant surgery to stay good, you need a trichologist to keep it good, to keep with the client, because hair surgery today, after 6 months of the hair is growing after the follicles that transplanted, they look good, but did you stop the hair loss? Maybe finasteride, maybe minoxidil is not the answer for that specific client or patient. Maybe he did not have androgenic alopecia, that's why he lost his hair. Maybe it's a totally different story. Well, guess what? Maybe this client with that full of hair suddenly had a trauma, like you said, Sergio, earlier,
Yeah.
and his hair started to shed like crazy. So now you paid $15,000, $20,000, sometimes $30,000. You are seeing them going down the drain. That's why a trichologist can stabilize these things, can maintain these things. So I feel trichology is the next booming business, or next booming science. Uh, like functional medicine is taking off right now, because everybody realized that a bandage is not the answer. Trichology is exactly the same. Trichology is getting into the root cause of what's happening. Either you're cosmetologist or dermatologist or a hair transplant surgeon, or you know what, a hair enthusiast. I went into the functional medicine health coaching academy to be a health coach. You know why? Because I wanted to solve my own health problems to begin with. So, and How many people are losing their hair? A lot of people are enthusiastic enough to go and study trichology for their own sake, or for their own for the sake of their own children, because now education is available online, anywhere, everywhere. So it is just the next, I feel this is the next functional medicine science that is going to happen in our industry.
I think so. I think it's going to be a revolution. I believe so. And
Yeah.
though many people don't know this, but trichology has been around for more than 100 years. People don't
Yep.
know that.
Yes.
Trichology
But
has been around.
can I interrupt you here,
Yeah, sure.
exactly here, Sergio? So trichology has been around for 100 years, but it, ask anybody on the street what is trichology, they don't know.
They don't
You
know
know
it.
why?
Exactly.
You know why? Because we don't have one roof. We didn't have a community. Nobody created a community. Everybody wants to be on their own island of whatever. That does not work, by the way. Does not work. That can work if you want to do one thing: cut hair, bleach hair, whatever you're doing. That is not the answer to trichology. Trichology is where all we're going to get together to help each other as a community to bring this science to the next level.
I
And,
also have
speaking of someone who lives on an island, I know what you feel.
I know, it's a metaphor.
I also have to add, a lot of people don't realize this. Hairdressers and barbers were the original medical professionals. The barber pole, the blue and the red represent the veins in the body, and the barber used to go to do house calls and do bloodletting and different techniques to help relieve patients. So they are the original medical professionals.
Let me
Crazy, eh?
talk. Let me talk
Holy tools and
politics for
everything,
a second.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah,
talk
go ahead.
politics for a second. This is what Kerry was saying. So capitalism, for capitalism to be successful, they have to segregate us. You do one thing, you do one thing, and you do one thing. And this is why, like, America has been a capitalist country since a long time, and we reached to a point where 80% of the people have chronic diseases. 80% of the people, or maybe I don't know the exact percentage, don't know why they're having hair loss. They go to cosmetologist, they go to a barber, and nobody knows what's going on. That's the definition of capitalism. And we are here to bring you all together as a community to help each other, because guess what? This did not work. So change. Let's change how the community look like.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
it's
done
all about unity.
with my politics. I'm done.
It's all about unity. It's all about unity. And adding to what you were saying, we want to connect, and this is what the hair wire is all about. And trichology is one of those sciences that brings in a lot of science into just one place. A lot of people don't understand this, but to be a successful trichologist, you need to understand about hormones. To be a
Yeah.
successful trichologist, you need to understand about digestive systems. To be a successful trichologist, you need to understand about the nervous systems, particularly how to work with the psyche, and of course about the illnesses in the body that are affecting, of course, the nervous systems as well. So we need to understand about different types of inflammation. We need to understand about what's happening to our bones, to our muscles, to every tissue in our body, because everything is interconnected and it's related to our hair, even the immune diseases. So if someone is to be a good trichologist, you need to understand all of the body systems and understand how they relate to hair, particularly how things can happen in one front and on the other, and they combine themselves as a one problem that is causing hair loss, and people don't realize that. And I have to say, yesterday I had a female. She came to the clinic. She was experiencing frontal fibrosing alopecia, and she has been going to her dermatologist for almost 10 years, getting shots of cortisone to treat her frontal fibrosing alopecia, not letting her know that if that frontal fibrosing gets finally under control, she could actually move on and get that hair covered, get that area covered with the proper treatment, with the proper surgery, might if it's possible. There are ways to treat with that, but just shooting cortisone catalog to that area for years, that
You know the
woman.
side effects on her body?
Oh my gosh! Don't get me started with that. Don't even get me started with that. But just to realize, this lady is experiencing an autoimmune disorder that is affecting her frontal area, that it's basically eating away her follicles. And basically, the first signaling that you might see during the frontal fibrosing alopecia is sebderm. By attacking the sebderm, the symptoms, we may actually be able to prevent any progression on the inflammation on the scalp. But just using the cortisone shots and not treating the symptoms of sebderm, of the seborrheic dermatitis, we're just doing half the treatment. We're not getting the work done. And if we want to get the work done, we have to work with the symptoms of that sebderm. And so by working that sebderm, we're able to what? To control that inflammation. And if we control the inflammation and no hair shedding is moving for at least 24 months, that person condition might actually be under control. And if it is under control, there's some surgeons who actually believe that they can do hair transplant on cicatricial alopecia and get coverage. Of course, not everyone is intended to that, because maybe if you have seen some of our shows, I had a lady with frontal fibrosing alopecia, and once she got her surgery, she lost it all back again. But there are some people who actually got the cicatricial alopecia under control, and they got the surgery and they're keeping it. There's two heads, there's two sides to the same coin. So it can happen one way or the other, but at least there are options. There are options so that people can rebuild that area. Maybe a forehead reduction surgery might do the trick for her. Maybe there are different techniques that can be applied. The thing is that, as a trichologist, we see the whole. We're not just seeing what we got in front of us. We have to look deeper. And as we look deeper and see what's going on, we are able to help people. That's what we do here as trichologists. Now, Carrie, I want to talk to you a bit about, oh, where's Carrie? She went out for a
Your
second.
computer crashed, I guess.
Well, I'm going to ask you, Misan, because again, we're talking about the candidates, people who want to study trichology. There she is. There she is. All right. Carrie, I want to talk to you, about candidates, people who want to study trichology, because we have a lot of friends in the industry, a lot of friends in the hair loss and in the hair industry and the beauty industry who might feel, intrigued and they're curious about trichology. You made the transition. You are a successful hairdresser. You have been doing it for decades now. And what made you jump into trichology?
Yeah, I still remember the day. Well, as a cosmetologist, you see a lot of scenarios. You see a lot of clients, different scalps, different issues, and I started seeing patterns with a lot of things with either trichotillomania or
Uh-oh. We're losing our
Connection,
friend.
connection got off. But it's interesting to see what has motivated us to become trichologists. For instance, in myself, I'm a second generation. So by default, my father was a trichologist, so I became a trichologist. But I also became a biologist. The thing is, my father, he had a beauty school, the first barbering school here in Puerto Rico, and my father decided to integrate trichology into the programs, the cosmetology and the barbering program, so at least our students would get some a better information on what trichology is and how to actually treat people who are suffering from different forms of hair loss. And it's interesting, that when beauty schools integrate trichology into their process of education, more people are more in tune into what trichology might actually be able to do for those people. And they are more prone to decide to study trichology and to integrate trichology into their practices. Now, Kerry, you were mentioning how you got into trichology.
Yep.
Can you walk us through the process?
Yeah, and sorry, my computer's uploading the videos, and that's why it keeps crashing. So, future note, we won't do that. um, so it's only so much you can handle. But yeah, I got into it just because I kept seeing patterns with clients, like either losing their hair or turning gray really quickly, or we're also as cosmetologists trained to look for um, different like melanoma and so forth in the scalp. And sometimes I saw stuff that even the doctors couldn't even figure out or help with the client. And I figured there's got to be more to this. And so once I learned about trichology, and I had no idea, like we take trichology for in my program, we took it for a month, but it's not enough. Not enough. It's just the surface. It's just the basics. And so when I found there's actually 2-year plus programs in it, I couldn't wait and I signed up for them. And that was my drivers because I wanted to help my clients. And I knew that I could level up. And my mission is to serve beautiful, healthy hair, not just fashion hair. Hair comes from within. And when I could boost a client's demeanor with their hair, not just cover it up, I knew I had to change that, and it was my mission to level up my game to be that for my clients. And now I notice I'm starting to become an industry leader to educate other cosmetologists too on how to. And I have cosmetology friends sending me clients. I'm like, stop sending me your clients. How about I teach you? How about I show you where to go to level up your game so you could do this too? Because it is such a demand right now, and we need to bring more trichology to the surface. So yeah, I
Definitely.
that,
I was talking last week with a friend of mine, Miguel Cisterna. He's the president of the Argentina Trichology Association, and we've been friends for a couple of years now, and we're gonna be working something together. And he was explaining to me, how the medical industry is actually getting attention, cutting up with trichology. They're looking at trichology as a way to treat people with their hair loss. And I found this fascinating, Bisan. You being the scientist here, why does the scientific world is looking up to trichology right now? Why do you think that's happening?
It's exactly what's happening with functional medicine, as I said before, in a way that people now realize that if we don't have a community and if we don't bring all the niches together under one roof, one doctor, one cosmetologist, one like nobody, no one person can do it all, and
True.
this is how trichology now it's becoming into the surface. This is why hair transplant surgeons, dermatologists, cosmetologists is paying attention to what trichology is. I'm as a scientist, I am not a cosmetologist, and I went into trichology because I was working with a hair transplant surgeon for a decade, and I didn't know what trichology existed. I didn't know actually the word trichology existed. I have been working with hair transplant surgeons for 10 years when I understand that when I knew what trichology is. It's just like it blows my mind when I look back into it right now. That's not so. Anyway, so during these 10 years, I saw in particular. Actually, I want to give you this example. This lady, you may know that I do scalp micropigmentation. This lady, she was in her
One of the best in the world, by the way. One of the best in the world.
true
thank you,
story.
thank you. And this lady, she is in her late 20s, and she's experiencing a lot of hair loss, and the hair transplant surgeon at that point gave her spironolactone, and I am doing scalp micropigmentation to cover up, to give her a better look, a fuller look. And I was thinking to myself, she was on my chair. SMP takes a long time, take me like 3 hours, 4 hours each session. So I do have a lot of time to talk to the patient, or the patient. So she was always telling me that how stressed she is, that she doesn't have time to eat, that she's running around, that she doesn't want to date people because she's embarrassed from her hair, and she doesn't want to take a shower in front of a boyfriend because when her hair is wet, it's gonna look even thinner. And I was thinking, and she is taking spironolactone, and she loves children, and nobody will know what's gonna happen to her fertility after that, and her period is messed up. And I was thinking, like, There must be a solution. That is not good. Like a lady in her late 20s taking spironolactone. Oh, and she's telling me because of the spironolactone, I cannot get up quickly. I will be dizzy and I will faint. And this happened in her office many times, and it's embarrassing her. I was like, why she has one option only? That does not make any sense. And this option is not that the greatest option. I mean, maybe the spironolactone is decreasing her shedding a little bit, not 100%. On the other side, it's giving her low blood pressure. God knows what's doing to her fertility. Nobody knows. Why there's must be something different. And she's telling me all this stuff that she's going through. Then I started research. It's like there is must be something out there. We are in an era of technology and information. Why don't we know this? And this is how I came into the world of the trichology. Oh, okay, so I have to deal with her stress, I have to deal with her sleep, I have to deal with her diet, because all this is contributing to her loss, and spironolactone is not the solution. The solution is all this. And this is why trichology is important. And I wish I can knock on doors of people and tell them, don't take medication. There is a lot of things that can be done before a person can be on medication. Medication is important for acute cases, and it is the last result when you have nothing else that is working on certain conditions. Most of conditions can be resolved on what's your thinking, how stressed you are, how's your sleep and diet and exercise. Believe me,
True.
this is as simple as it can be.
Particularly whenever we talk about, for instance, androgenetic alopecia, we think about androgenetic alopecia as the world leading type of hair loss. And, as I mentioned before, I don't think it's the world leading type of hair loss. I believe it might be the second to telogen effluvium, because sometimes a person might experience telogen effluvium with a male pattern, female pattern type of hair loss, and not necessarily because they're experiencing a male pattern or female pattern type of hair loss, it means that they're suffering from androgenetic alopecia. And when we talk about, for instance, medication on androgenetic alopecia, particularly, you will see that the first few medications that actually comes to any doctor's mind will be to use minoxidil, to use Propecia, finasteride, to use dutasteride, to use spironolactone, and there are other medications around that can be used for this type of conditions. But as you mentioned, this, if we are to use this types of medication, we need to understand the complexities of it, the side effects of it, and of course, am I a good candidate to use this medication? Because, like the person that you mentioned, if she has experiencing low blood pressure, she cannot take spironolactone.
Yeah,
Period. A
yeah.
person with a history of low blood pressure cannot take spironolactone. So you have to think about another options. For instance, people who are allergic to minoxidil. Not everyone is able to use minoxidil. Why? Because people experiencing a rash, some people experience allergic reactions to it. So not everyone can be good for minoxidil. Same thing goes with finasteride, Propecia, particularly in men. They might experiencing shrinkage of their testes. They might experience erectile dysfunction. So, is it proper for any man to use it, particularly young men? Can young men use it? What will happen to their future? So, we need to consider all of these options, and not only on the immediate effects, but also on the long term effects. What will happen to these people? What will happen to their health? Will that be compromised? So think about, medication is not the only solution. As Bisan was mentioning, uh, if you're a responsible trichologist, you consider it as a last resort. If it's your last option, not the first one, is your last option. Why? Because there are so many other solutions ahead of us. What types of solutions, Sergio, can we look forward as trichologists? Where if I need to increase blood circulation, even a massage can do that for you. Okay. If I want to increase blood circulation, I can use laser. If I want to increase blood circulation, I can use high frequency deoxyribonucleic equipments. If I want to increase blood circulation, I can tap into the scalp. Yes, as Carrie is doing right now. There are different techniques. Even the inversion table. It's a table that people tilt their heads and they go. Down. The heads is downward. So there are different ways that we can increase blood circulation to the scalp. Minoxidil is not the only one. So there are other treatments. We can also use microneedling, for instance. Microneedling is amazing. Not only microneedling will help with the blood circulation, but it will help generate new blood vessels,
Exercise.
angiogenesis. Yes, that's one of the things. There's so many options right now. So whenever we think about for instance, DHT blocking, if I want to block DHT, did you know that there's metal, that there's pumpkin seed, that there are many other natural remedies that can actually help you block DHT? Have you ever think about using a shampoo, for instance?
Yeah.
There are many options available right now, and medicine it doesn't need to be the first option, but in some cases medicine will be right for those clients. I have patients right now in which I will recommend to go into Propecia, to go into spironolactone, to use minoxidil. Yes, but there's a limit, and of course there's a criteria for that. So not just everyone can get it. And that's I love what you mentioned in the beginning, Bisan. One pill fix all.
Yes.
One pill size all. There's no one treatment for everything. So we need to go on our one-on-one basis, see what's happening for each person, what's happening on each case, and evaluate, and of course see the tolerance level for each patient, so that we are able to gather the resources necessary to actually treat a scalp and hair condition.
Very true. Very true.
You want to add to that, Vince? If you let me, I'll keep on going.
I know. No, like Carrie is saying that we should cut it short because her computer is not handling all this pressure. But I think we made it clear for our viewers, for our viewers that I
Yeah.
mean, Sergio can Sergio is an encyclopedia. What? Encyclopedia. Sometimes I lose my words. In hair and
For
hair
the people
loss.
who have been taking training with me, they know I can talk and
Exactly.
yap
Yes.
for days, not hours, for days, and talk
Yes.
about trichology because I love this. I love this. But hey, you want to stay connected, you want to learn more about trichology, you got to get connected with the Hair Wire. Visit our website, thehairwire.com. And if you are interested in trichology, I will suggest, as a first step, visit and get your tickets to the summit. This is the best way to get your feet wet into the ecology world. Go right now to the summit, to the Hairwire Summit, thehairwire.com/summit. Right now, get your feet wet and get a sense of what trichology is. We will help you. We will guide you through the different beauty schools, the different trichology schools that are available right now to get you certified as a trichologist, and so you can start working into the process. But if you're not thinking about doing trichology as a clinic, and you just want to do it behind the chair, there are different workshops and different programs that we can recommend for you to help you grow in your profession. So stay
Don't
connected with the Hair
mention the
Wire.
network. We're going to be offering workshops for trichology mastery programs. It's going to be the Faculty of Trichology in the back where you can level up and take your niche and help you really hone in your skills as a trichologist or cosmetologist getting into trichology, or a dermatologist getting into trichology and wanting to know more about cosmetology. It's there. It's the bridge, you guys. And bonus, we are going to be having business lectures and workshops in there too, to share what you do. So sorry, I had to interject there.
Bring it. No, I mean, the Hair Wire is the place for you guys. If you're getting interested in trichology, all you have to do is stay connected to the Hair Wire, see what we have in store for you. let's say hi to Leanne Merlee. Good information here. Thank you, Leanne. Nice of you for you to join with us here today at the Hair Wire. So, guys, uh, I think that's is that it? Is that it for today? Yes, yes. Okay, we need to cut it short today. All right. So, guys, thank you for tuning in. Remember, all every Wednesday at 11:30, 12 ish, we go live. So stay connected to the Hairwire, thehairwire.com. We'll see you next week. God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye. Hey, remember, hit the like button, smash the subscribe one, and of course, the notification bell. See you next time. Bye bye.